Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sienna gives Mitch, also known as Matt, the third degree when he returns home. According to Monday, November 3rd spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman notices something unsettling as Sienna Bacall questions Mitch Bacall, also known as Matt Clark. Who is that man? Matt is supposed to be dead, so Sharon is shocked to discover him outside the shadow room. Matt is dead, but LA Mitch is still alive and standing directly in front of her. If not, Mitch informs her that it's a case of mistaken identification because he looks much like Matt. Sharon knows deep down that she is dealing with Matt, a horrible person from her past, regardless of what he claims. Sharon opens up to Nick Newman about encountering a sinister past when they reunite. Who is Matt/Mitch? Nick and Sharon are dealing with an additional layer of difficulty and bewilderment now that they are aware of Mitch's identity. However, it motivates them to investigate Noah's fate in Los Angeles. When Mitch returns to the scene, Sienna starts questioning him. Strangely, Mitch was gone for longer than anticipated, and everything that happened while he was gone has her on edge. Why is Mitch with Sienna? A lot of questions are raised by Sharon's response to Mitch. Does Sienna worry about Mitch's previous identity as Matt? Are they conspiring to make dubious deals similar to the one Noah was pursuing? Sienna will have a terrifying few minutes while being brought up to speed if she is unaware of Matt Clark. And to be honest, the authors deserve praise for bringing such a surprising grand slam to the canvas. What will Nick think of Matt's survival? Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and Claire Newman, meanwhile, ultimately jump in and sleep together. Will Claire regret anything? Or will she convince Holden that she went for it because she knew what she was doing? Are Claire and Kyle taking a break? They seem unsure at the moment. Claire is new to dating and extracurricular activities, therefore she might feel bad about Kyle. After what he and Audra Charles did in Nice, she might also feel as though she is now with him. According to sexy spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Claire must now consider what she did and reconsider her love for Kyle and Holden. What do you suppose she will choose? A blast from the past was sent to Nick and Sharon. The Young and the Restless, Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Episode spoilers are provided here. The Young and the Restless next episodes. Regarding The Young and the Restless, Roger Howarth. In Friday's episode, viewers witness Sharon seeing a man she thinks is Matt Clark, the man who sexually assaulted her as a teenager. Nick was imprisoned for shooting Matt. Matt returned for another reign of terror, which is said to have led to his death approximately 5 years after he had left town. Why is Matt in Los Angeles and yet alive? Watch for Sharon and Nick to have a blast from the past on Monday's show. Will we find out how Matt is surviving and residing in Los Angeles? A beacon of light. Supporting his son Kyle on The Young and the Restless is something Jack Abbott is prepared to do. In the past, Jack has been in his son Kyle's position. Although she has pushed him away, he is aware that Kyle is in love with Claire. As demonstrated by his experience with Diane, Jack is a business strategist who also knows how to battle for love. Keep an eye out for Jack to assist Kyle with his next move on Monday's episode. Kyle will need to take the appropriate actions to demonstrate his continued love for Claire without coming across as overly forceful if he hopes to win her heart again. The following morning, on The Young and the Restless, Holden and Claire, Haley Aaron, made love in Los Angeles. Claire and Holden gave way to their attraction to one another on Friday's episode. The two had a passionate encounter, the kind of romance that happens during the day. Claire's life has been somewhat unconventional. She was brought up by her nasty Aunt Jordan, who made her feel as though she wasn't wanted by her own family. Claire has therefore needed time away from Kyle and her family, and she has gone to Los Angeles to enjoy herself and discover who she is. The two have now developed a sexual relationship as she has grown to know Holden better. Watch for Claire and Holden to talk about current events on Monday's broadcast. Will the two be discussing global politics or the new aspect of their relationship that has emerged. The latter is what we suspect. Mitch, also known as Matt, comes home, a villain's resurrection. One of the young and the restless most unexpected and poignant turns in recent years is the return of Mitch Bacall, better known as Matt Clark. The serious ramifications of this reappearance are immediately apparent to viewers who have followed Sharon Newman's troubled past for a long time. Sharon's world falls apart when she first spots Mitch outside the shadow room. The guy who previously caused her unspeakable agony and whom she thought was dead now appears before her eyes, smiling, self-assured, and apparently unconcerned by the mayhem his very presence causes. This interaction feels like a reenactment of Sharon's greatest nightmare. Her shock gives way to horror when she realizes that the man posing as Mitch is actually her old tormentor, Matt Clark. Her fear is only heightened by Mitch's casual denial of any relationship to Matt, which leads to a difficult psychological conflict between truth and deceit. In order to examine Sharon's trauma response, the authors deftly construct this confrontation, making her revisit long-forgotten memories and make her doubt her own sanity. She confides in Nick Newman about seeing a dark shadow from long ago, and the two are thrown into a mystery that could destroy not just their serenity, but also their common past. Her reunion with him becomes an essential emotional outlet, the layers of suspicion and the third degree in Sienna's interrogation. Sienna Bacall takes center stage as the moral compass, or possibly the suspicious partner, who presses Mitch for answers as Sharon struggles with her past. The purpose of Sienna's questioning is to learn more about Mitch's true identity rather than just where he has been. Tension rises between them as she questions him about his extended absence, feeling that there is more going on beneath his polished exterior. Her inquiries pierce his armor, putting his allegiance, poise, and honesty to the test. As viewers, we witness Sienna's keen intuition in action as she deciphers Mitch's evasive body language and picks up on the minute contradictions in his story. The authors depict Sienna as a woman caught between suspicion and love, as well as a victim and investigator. Her mode of inquiry is similar to a detective uncovering a long-forgotten crime. It's unclear if she is aware that Mitch is actually Matt Clark, but her response implies that she is on the verge of a heartbreaking discovery. When Sienna discovers Mitch's true identity, their relationship will be completely reshaped, with love giving way to dread and trust crumbling into incredulity. Her encounter exemplifies the betrayal, disclosure, and unsettling insight that the person you love can actually be a stranger in disguise that are at the heart of soap opera narratives. The emotional repercussions: Nick, Sharon, and the historical ghosts. Mitch's return is more than just a startling turn of events for Sharon and Nick. It's an emotional wake-up call. Once, Matt Clark ruined their connection, their innocence, and their faith in humanity. Not only are Sharon's suffering and Nick's unjustified incarceration for shooting Matt narrative aspects, but they also serve as emotional scars that shape these people's identities. Their previously believed wounds are reopened when they encounter Matt living while posing as Mitch. Even though they both struggle with incredulity, Nick's burning resolve to protect Sharon contrasts nicely with Sharon's frail serenity. They have to face their own fragility as well as Matt's survival together. In an effort to take back control of their lives, they search for the truth about Mitch's identity and what happened to Noah in Los Angeles. This subplot deftly blends the past and present, fusing memory with mystery, trauma with inquiry. It's a tale of tenacity and survival, about how ancient spirits just take on new identities and never really die. As they set out to expose the guy who once devastated them, Sharon's intuition turns into her greatest weapon and Nick's allegiance into her greatest shield. The enigma of Mitch and Noah's absence. The authors create a complex link between Noah's recent problems in Los Angeles and Mitch's unexplained disappearance. Mitch's longer-than-expected absence sets off Sienna's worry and Sharon's interest. His relationship with L.A., possibly through dubious activities or clandestine networks, indicates that his return to Genoa City is not an accident. Or had he been planning something from the background all along? The story is made more interesting by the way Mitch's reappearance coincides with Sharon and Nick's investigation into Noah's predicament. It is unclear to viewers whether Mitch is returning to mend past wounds or to take advantage of them. His evasive responses, enigmatic charm, and unnerving composure all suggest that he is engaging in risky behavior. An identity thriller encased in emotional drama, Mitch/Matt's dual identities foster a sense of psychological discomfort. Mitch is one of the most fascinating returning characters in recent YNR history because his motivations are kept a secret, regardless of whether he is seeking atonement or retribution. Is Sienna's part in the developing drama complicity or love? The most erratic element in this plot is the connection between Sienna and Mitch. Her awakening begins with her questioning scene, which is incisive, poignant, and suspicious. The distinction between romantic partner and investigator, as well as between emotional closeness and treachery, is deftly blurred in the narrative. Sienna will need to make peace with the terrible reality of Mitch's past if she really loves him. Her motivations, however, are much more ambiguous if she already knows he is Matt Clark. It's possible that she has always been a willing accomplice in his plans. With subtext poured into every interaction, the emotional tension in their scenes grows like a ticking time bomb. It feels like every inquiry she poses doubles as an accusation. Since two women are connected by the same man and one of them unwittingly sleeps with the enemy while the other relives a nightmare, it seems that the authors are trying to portray Sienna as Sharon's emotional mirror. Sienna's demeanor can change from skeptic to avenging when the truth eventually comes to light, letting forth the fury of a woman scorned by dishonesty. In addition to advancing the mystery, her scenes are rooted in unfiltered emotion, including incredulity, betrayal, and finally, self-preservation. Parallel narratives, Los Angeles' love, lust, and confusion. The episode strikes a balance between love upheaval elsewhere and the perilous Mitch, Sienna, and Sharon narrative. A pivotal moment in Claire Newman's path to freedom and self-discovery is the passionate night she spends with Holden Novak. Growing up under Aunt Jordan's influence, Claire's life has been a never-ending battle for independence. Her choice to have sex with Holden is a result of both self-discovery and rebellion. However, the fallout, her bewilderment, her remorse regarding Kyle, and her ambiguity about her true desires gives her character more emotional depth. Claire is forced to face the repercussions of her decisions as a result of the morning after scenes, which contrast desire with regret. Similar to how Mitch conceals himself behind a false identity, Claire conceals herself behind impetuous actions in order to avoid confronting her emotional reality, a subplot that reflects the main theme of identity deceit. Another level of poignancy is added by Jack Abbott's function as Kyle's father figure and mentor. Jack's advice to Kyle on how to win back Claire's heart provides a glimmer of insight amidst the turmoil, since he is well versed in heartbreak and perseverance. In many respects, Jack serves as the moral counterpoint to the episode's depravity, serving as a reminder that sincere love has the capacity to heal just as much as dishonesty can. Thematic depth, trauma, redemption, and deception. At its core, This Young and the Restless episode examines the ways in which trauma and love are entwined with identity and deceit. In addition to being a story twist, Matt Clark's resurrection as Mitch Bacall serves as a metaphor for how the past will not be buried. Nick's protectiveness highlights the enduring power of loyalty. Sienna's distrust reveals her inner resilience, and Sharon's trauma resurfaces not to punish her, but to demonstrate her strength. Viewers are drawn into a psychological maze where intentions are never pure and truth is elusive. These themes, characters seeking authenticity in a world based on secrets, are also echoed in the parallel tales of Claire and Kyle. By fusing suspense with reflection, the authors have created an emotionally complex episode. Every discussion has a deeper significance, and every scene throbs with anxiety. Every character, including Sharon, Sienna, Nick, and even Mitch, is forced to face their inner demons when Matt Clark returns. As viewers, we are reminded that The Young and the Restless continues to be unmatched in its ability to combine intense human emotion with soap opera spectacle, demonstrating once more that the past is never really gone in Genoa City. It is only waiting to come home. Roger Howarth talks about Mitch Bacall, the bad boy. According to spoilers and updates for The Young and the Restless, Roger Howarth talks candidly about his new character, Mitch Bacall, the bad guy. In a lengthy interview with Soap Opera Digest, he expressed his excitement at portraying the notorious villain. The audience speculated that Roger would portray Mitch. Viewers started speculating when Tamara Braun, who debuted as Sienna Bacall on Young and Restless earlier this month, mentioned her husband, Mitch Bacall. They assumed that Roger Howarth, a soap opera veteran, was supposed to play Mitch. When the show debuted a video titled Meet the, which hinted at Howarth's impending presence, those assumptions were validated. But there's a twist, and a major one. Fans quickly learned that Mitch is actually Matt Clark, the tormentor who has come back to haunt Sharon and Nick Newman. Howarth discussed his exciting new position and his return to daytime television in an exclusive interview with Digest. Howarth is legendary in soap. The legendary soap star Howarth's breakthrough performance as Todd Manning on One Life to Live earned him a 1994 Daytime Emmy. Daytime viewers are also familiar with him from his long-running role as Paul Ryan on As the World Turns. From 2012 to 2023, he had 3 distinct roles on General Hospital. "I trust Josh completely," says the actor, who initially collaborated with YNR's executive producer/head writer Josh Griffith, when Griffith was co-head writer at OLTL in the early 1990s. Thus, the actor says, "It was really flattering and so nice to be thought of when he and Griffith first broached the possibility of Howarth joining the program to play Mitch but actually Matt." Roger went on to discuss Griffith and the customer Mandy line. Roger continued by saying that Griffith had said it's a great part and that I'd be working with incredible people. And both of those things turned out to be true. Is there anything not to be excited about? Matt Clark is an amazing character, he says with a smile. When Howarth first visited the YNR studio for a clothing fitting with the amazing costumer for the show, Mandy line, he recognized how amazing it was. The actor praises the actress, saying, "Mandy is incredibly talented, hard-working, dedicated, and detail-oriented. She thought of everything, man, and she made me feel like stepping into the character would be effortless. Because so much had already been set up visually. I mean, you can tell who the guy is just by looking at the jewelry he wears, and that is really helpful for an actor." Howarth has already played 2 roles as a recast. Paul from ATWT and Franco from GH. 2 of his 4 primary roles on daytime TV have been recast. As a result, Howarth is accustomed to playing historically significant roles that he did not initially play. He received assistance from the writers in learning about Matt's past. They spent time explaining his whereabouts, his actions, and how they wanted him to contribute to Genoa City's general dynamics. According to Howarth, "I think that while he was away from Genoa City, he built a whole life that has developed over the years into who he is now," he continues. According to Howarth, understanding the character's past is another way to understand them. This was another way of understanding the character for Howarth. He says, "You tend to know everything about that person when they are posing as someone else. What else are they concealing if they are lying about who they are? The wonderful thing is that it guarantees that the present Matt Clark will closely reflect how he was previously portrayed. Matt sincerely believes in the life he has led over the years as Mitch." Howarth continues, "I believe they want him to appear in his current form, but they respect his past." Roger discusses how Josh Griffith clearly stated his storyline requirements. "Everything was laid out for us, and Josh was extremely clear about what he needed from the plot involving Mitch, Sienna, and Noah Newman. I felt really well taken care of because they made sure to let everyone know what was expected of them." Howarth teases, "The ramp was short. Matt gets up to no good very, very quickly." Because of the nature of the story, Howarth will work closely with the seasoned Genoa City actors who play Sharon and Nick, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Case. Fans can anticipate seeing Matt's true nature soon. I was really excited to meet Josh and Sharon, and they've been amazing, says Howarth. Lucas Adams, who will make his debut as Noah Newman next week, is a really nice kid. Howarth is excited about Matt Clark's badness and everyone's well-being. Since everyone has been so honest and polite, I would be wagging my tail if I were a dog, but don't expect to see those good vibes when the cameras start rolling. Matt Clark may be the most evil villain yet, but Howarth is used to portraying villains on daytime television. He grinned and said, "I'm really thankful to play a character with cunning, evil, and mischievous traits. It's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed watching and being a part of such characters. I find these roles really meaningful, and it's always crucial to comprehend their motivations, which frequently have to do with love or the yearning for love. Every great TV villain, in my opinion, has a deeper emotional desire at their heart." Roger discusses the villainy of his character. You can see what drives his villainy with this character. And in terms of his history, the villainy was pretty intense the last time Matt Clark was around, the actor says. As Matt did when he set Nick up, feigning death to exact revenge is not a trivial act. It's a significant, daring action. Furthermore, Howarth claims that Matt hasn't changed at all throughout time. The actor warns, "I think his wickedness has become more pronounced and profound, and he's had plenty of time to think about it." According to Roger, Matt is a real villain. This is a real villain, yes. Fans should expect Matt to want to preserve his Mitch persona for as long as possible. I feel like I understand why he acts the way he does, and that, to me, is part of the narrative that you'll need to watch for and follow. It's crucial for Matt that people keep believing he's Mitch, explains Howarth, despite Sharon's first suspicion that he was an unwanted reminder of her past. He has built a life for himself as Mitch, and he treasures it. Mitch's belief that he is Matt is disruptive. The idea that he is someone else has a big impact on Mitch's life, and he works hard to prove that they are mistaken. What I like is that there's an additional layer of him being dishonest and cunning, so committed to his lies that they become a kind of truth in his own mind, Howarth says. I think it's an intriguing quality of his personality that he seems a little lost. He has been telling lies for so long that he thinks they are the truth, and I think it's a very human and delightfully flawed element to examine in a story. Roger appreciates all of the excitement his casting has generated. The actor is really appreciative of the buzz his role has created among Y&R fans and his other show fans. Howarth says, "It makes me really happy. The support truly touches me. The audience's enjoyment is the primary motivation behind our actions. That is what we are here to do." He continues, "Thank you for watching, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy it. It should be entertaining to the Y&R audience."